And there we are.
Here we
Another
are.
fun night. Yeah, really. Hey,
Yeah.
welcome everybody out there to Paranormal Chat Muslims Radio Network. Glad you guys are with us tonight. If you're with us, if you're not with us, we wish you would have been.
Yeah, yeah. You're welcome to the show. To
So,
those that are tuning in. So how's it going, Robin?
oh, it's going. I'm not sure which direction yet, but yeah, it's going. So it's been kind of a crazy last week, and trying to get things ready to go for the weekend event, and then
Yeah.
my business, the one company we represent, says we want you to do an audit on your files, and we'd like to have it all done by like Tuesday. I'm like, well, that's not going
Um,
to happen. So, but
jeez.
I I spent few extra hours in the office, and I'm down to like two files that they want now. So hopefully I'll get that done
Yeah.
tomorrow. I'll only be a day late, so but that's good.
It's not too bad.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
considering they're lucky I
Yeah.
even got that done. So hey,
Yeah.
Ashley.
You got some donuts to eat, don't you?
Yeah. Since our teaming out of Greenwood, Indiana, yeah, they came today, so I guess we'll have donuts this coming Saturday. You know, we have plenty of donuts. So yep. But yeah,
Yeah.
that donut demon, your sister,
I
caused that
know.
problem.
I know it. All the craziness, right?
I think she still hates me probably from that picture. But
Yeah.
were you watching at that time?
Yeah, I was watching and I was like, "Oh man!" And I was telling her about it, and she's just like, "He didn't." I was like, "He did. Yep,
I
he did." So,
didn't
but
even
I
tell
couldn't.
anybody.
Oh yeah, I couldn't not tell her. I was just like, I gotta like tell her that way, get her wound up a little bit.
Well, you should have told her to go back and watch about a certain point of it, and which she
Yeah, yeah,
probably
that would
has.
have been
Yeah,
better.
she probably has anyway. But I'm going to cut that clip and save it for eternity anyway.
That's funny. Yeah, I didn't watch like all day, but I was catching speakers. Like, I was trying to catch everybody throughout the time. And of course, there was a few times I jumped on there and the screen's just all like gone and it just says break time,
Yeah.
gone for a break or gone for lunch. And I was like, I'll come back in a little bit. But yeah, I managed to catch that. And I was just like, guess what? Figured I'd get her wound up. And it's like, guess what? She's like, what? Yeah, Robin put a picture of you up. She's like, he did. I was like, yeah. She's like, what was it? And I told her, and she's like, he didn't. I was like, oh, he did. Sure
So
did.
it was a nice little twirling intro too. Into the
Yeah,
donut
yeah,
demon from Greenwood, Indiana.
yeah. It was a nice little tie-in with everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
to pull her into that. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, it's cool.
So
It's good that you got your donuts, but it's bad that they were late.
yeah, they told me as long as I got them by yesterday that they'd be
Mhm.
okay. And
Yeah,
well, that's good. So we got just a, and they're not good for a year, so I can't like save them till next year.
yeah.
So yeah, so like $85 worth of donuts that I didn't want to have to lose. But oh well.
Gosh. Yeah. Well,
So
at
we'll
least
be
it
eating State Fair
wasn't
mini
lost.
donuts all weekend and probably next weekend. And
Anybody's hungry, tell them to come on by, right?
yeah, tell me, yeah. So I need to get my favorite little person up from Texas to do some more donut porn. So she she was eating them a couple years ago, and she had them on her finger, and she was eating them off her finger because she didn't want to get her hands all wet or sticky from the she dipped them in chocolate. So yeah, I was gonna give her a hard time about how she was eating them and all. It's pretty sad. So
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of the weekend, yeah, you guys raised over $5,000 from the event.
yeah, it's 5,800 bucks. I think is what it was that came in. So
Yeah,
yep. So it was a good time. Yeah, we
yeah, it was
it
awesome.
worked out well, and so yep, and we're gonna talk to Rebecca a little bit about that too. But we were,
Mhm.
I think it's the daytime session for 2023 sold out in like 3 hours,
Wow,
and yeah, it was just like gone. And
wow.
I even limited the ticket sales this
Yeah,
year because they used to have
yeah.
like
I
no
saw you were
limit.
talking about it on there. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and so we limited the ticket sales, how many they could buy, and it's still sold out. We had a lot of people that must have been watching because my phone blew up like at 11:30 one. His phone was blowing up with all these notifications about money that's being coming into the account and everything.
Yeah.
And it was, but yeah, there's a lot of people that weren't even at the event because if we were missing, we actually had like 11 or 12 people that canceled before the snowstorm. And then with the snowstorm, we had about another 20 that that didn't show. And so we were missing about 30 some people. So considering that, it went well, and we had a decent turnout. It was a fair turnout as far as people go. And then the raffle items did really well, and the auction items did super. So that was awesome. That was great, and hopefully we can do something like that again next year.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. I wanted to be there, and I was like, I'm gonna wait later on, when it gets close to the weekend, to see what's going on. And I got over a foot of snow here, and then like I just Friday was when I was going to come over Friday, obviously, because I thought everything's going to freeze back up Friday night, and then I'll have to come over because it was going to be temperatures were going to drop so much. And then I started checking everything out on the news, and they were just like, if you don't need to be out, don't get out. Like there were numerous counties like still under warnings. And of course, like when you pull up the map and look at Indiana, it's all the western side like there. So I'm going right through there to get through, and they were under warnings, and they were just like, if you don't travel, emergency vehicles only. And I'm like, oh, all right. And then of course, when it came to here, the roads were a mess and all that stuff. And I was just like, well, it doesn't look like I'm going to be going. Let's send Robin a message.
Yeah, Tim Woolworth came down from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and said things were fine. So the roads were fine. And then Tim Miley came down from up around, I think it's north of Milwaukee, someplace up there. Yeah, north of Milwaukee, or north of Madison or someplace up in that area. And he came down. He said everything was fine too. In fact, they actually made it without didn't slow them down. So the highways are great. It was all the side roads getting to the highways that were a problem. But so once they got the highway, everything was fine.
There's still a lot of the roads, like, the one going to the pie shop and stuff when you leave from Rhodes Hotel, like even that road's still a mess. It's ice all over the place.
The terrible spot to get stopped at is Lisa's Pie Shop.
Yeah, I know. Terrible places.
Yeah.
I was actually like, when I went by there today, and I was just kind of like, are they open? So kind of checking it out, but they weren't open. Their hours are odd. And then like, even days that you think that they'd be open, they're not. I don't know if they just sell out all that stuff, and then
I think they do. I think they sell out.
Close down. Yeah.
Right. It's like we're not open because we don't have anything to sell. So
yeah. Go home. Don't have anything left. No doubt. Yep.
Well, we should probably get Rebecca in here, and
and
that way there's something better looking on the screen than two of us.
The people have to look at us.
That's right. So let's just bring Rebecca in here with us. There she is. So
hi guys.
What's she's got this cool backdrop. Look at this.
Yeah. I've got.
Yeah. I'm sitting in my office, and
two of the creepiest places right there. Both of y'all are in two of the creepiest place that I've ever been in. So
I just realized that the oatmeal cream pies are still in the background there. So it's like they're within reach if I get hungry during the hour. So
must be nice.
I have food too.
I got nothing.
Robin's got donuts.
I have B12.
You got donuts around.
And so the donuts are in the freezer. So so I got nothing else.
That's hilarious.
Oh well. So how's Rebecca?
I'm good. How are you guys? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, no, thanks for coming on. Yeah, no, things have been going well.
Good.
So, things are starting to gear up and everything. Get ready for the upcoming events and everything.
Yeah.
We can just get rid of the snow.
I'm ready for spring. It smelled like spring outside today. It just makes you hanker for it that much more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 45 or so here today.
Yes.
It was about 40 here, I think, today. It's not bad.
Beautiful.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, it was kind of nice and sunny and 45, and I didn't even go out until about 5:30, 5 o'clock tonight when I went over and did some work in one of the garages. But then had a trustees meeting after that. But it was it looked like it's pretty nice outside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what's new and exciting with you?
Nothing. I'm waiting to hear something with you guys in either place. Like, hey, you want to eat, or hey, you want to come play with the doll? I'm just waiting for something creepy.
Yeah, you've got stories for both places, don't you? I mean, from being in both locations.
Yeah, I've never spent the night at Robin's house in our theater, but staying at the hotel. I just will never forget it. That was one of those, other than Ashmore Estates, that night I was clothed and covered over my head because I didn't want, and I told you, I'm like, I don't want to wake up with some dude hovering over me, asking me if I want to eat, because I'm going to end up in your bed. And I think you slept that night in your clothes on top of your bed with a blanket just in case that actually happened.
Yeah, you warned me. You were like, leave that door open, because you slept in the other room right here. So you were like 10 feet and you were like, leave the door open, because anything happens, I'm coming in your room.
I'm bolting and I'm running. Exactly. I think I had to go to the bathroom all night too, and I wouldn't, because the bathroom's in the servants' quarters, and I'm a huge chicken at night. So having to open the fireplace, walk through, it's just not happening. But yeah. Oh my gosh, what a night. I don't think
one of the craziest nights we had here with the guy. I had Theo Crane from The Walking Dead. They called him Big Tiny. He was like 6'5", national kickboxing champion of the world or something like that, and amateur kickboxing champion. And he spent the night here at the theater. And so I walked downstairs and was going to the back of the building one day, and the door was open and the lights were on. I'm like, oh, he's up. So I kind of knocked on the door a little bit, walked in. No, he was sound asleep on the bed. Here's all the 6-7 frames spread all over the bed, and he was in there just sleeping away. I asked him, I said, what's up? He's like, man, I'm not sleeping in here in the dark. He's like, there's no way. He left the lights on all night long. He's like,
I would have too.
And 6'7", 350 pounds, and I was like scared of a ghost.
Well, I don't know. Some of the creepiest nights have been in your buildings, Robin. That's all I know. So,
well, you know what? I remember the first time you were here. Like, I don't think I really mentioned anything about this, but you remember, Robin, back when I had gotten really sick and I was dealing with the lung issues and everything and all that stuff that was going on. I remember really sick. Yeah, and then you came over, and I never really talked about any of that stuff. But I remember when you went upstairs and we hadn't talked about the place, but she got to Everett's room. You got in that area and you were talking about there was someone up there that had similar, like some kind of similar like issues, and they were checking on me or something, because
I remember that vaguely, and I don't remember readings, but but he's so active.
It was odd to me, because we didn't really mention anything about that, and then you bring that up and I'm like, he died from tuberculosis. And then you were talking about, because I didn't talk too much about being sick and like what was actually going on with me. And you were talking about, oh yeah, he's coming down, he's checking on you. And I'm like, huh? Yeah, like what? Because we never really talked about any of that stuff. So you had no idea really what was going on, to what extent and everything. And that was definitely one of the stories. I was like, huh.
Well, every time I'm there, he seems like he's so active. He's one of the most active in the hotel, it seems. And I made up with him the last time I was there when we did the live event. But the other thing that I caught there was that cat. I caught a whole bunch of film with the cat purring, and I thought there was no cat.
Yeah. But did you know that there was one found dead in the attic?
There was a cat found dead in the attic. I think somebody was it you that just told me that, Mike? Somebody just told me that.
Yeah, I told you that not too far. Yeah, not too long ago. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's just it's an amazing place, and I have so much courage to sleep upstairs alone during the day, and not so much at night. Last time sleeping there in the kids' room, and their windows were all being replaced. So it was
Oh, yeah.
absolute pitch black, no
Yep.
noise. And it was the darkness and the lack of noise was deafening. And it was one of the funniest nights ever with my companions that I was with. And I swear to you, those dolls, I swear they moved during the night. And I was not on the floor. Thank God.
Just forewarning, when you come back, there's no bed in this other room here, so you're further than 10 feet away.
Well, then we will probably just figure out that I'm probably not going to sleep there that night. Oh
You
my
could do like
God.
Chad did. Chad Lindbergh, when he was out in September, he's like, "No, I'm not staying upstairs." So he stayed in the garage. That there's
Yeah, he
there's
stayed
a
in the
pull-out
garage,
bed
yeah.
over there. So he stayed in the garage. He's like, "No, I'm not
Okay.
staying up here." So I
No.
can't do that.
No, and you know what? I talked to Chad in Vegas about roads and talking about the broom experience and talking about all of that, and he said the same thing. Like he feels the same way I do. It's exciting, but it's also terrifying because you don't know exactly what they're capable of if they're
Yeah.
making noise and they're moving things and dropping brooms and they're cognizant of your presence there. And that guy that night that we did the full investigation, seriously, after going over all the film, he'd been hovering down that main stairwell. And he asked, like, how many times? Did you eat? Did you? Oh, you ate? And I'm thought, oh my, I joked around with Mike from like 5 to
Yeah.
7 about where's the food? Gotta have the food. Let's go get Mexican. I need to eat. And they're just such an amazing
Yeah.
they're all of them. They're not like a residual energy at Rhodes. They are active. They know who's with them, and it's an amazing place to visit. Seriously, if no one's ever been there, they need to go. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always tell people that's I get asked all the time about what's your craziest experience you've had and everything, and they expect you to say the theater or Ashmore or something like that, and like it's Rhodes Hotel, and it was before Lost Limbs had it. I was in there years ago. We did a seance, and I was sitting at the end of the table with the person doing the seance, and there was probably, well, they were spread out from that one small parlor room where they probably had like the funeral or the they display coffins and things like that, all the way back towards the kitchen area table. So there's probably 20 people or so in there. And at one point in the night, everybody, I was looking at the far end of the table, and their eyes were going like, "Oh, what's that?" And I thought, "What's going on?" It's like one right after the other, just in succession. And it came down through me, and I'm like, "Oh, that's what it is." The floor had done a wave. The wood floor there had done a wave. I mean, you could actually feel it move, and there was no earthquake or anything like that. And Mike's dad's been underneath the floor since after we bought it, and in there look at stuff, and there was nothing structurally wrong with anything. But it's weird. That night we did that. They did the seance, and the wave came through through that table area.
Speaking of seance, I have to add that I was part of one not that long ago. First time I ever done one. And I actually wasn't, I was just kind of observing in a chair away from it. I don't think I want to do another one. It was, yeah.
So tell us, since you're shaking your head no, tell us about seances. What's good and bad about those from your perspective?
Well, I mean, like,
now, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about her. She's the one that knows.
Well, no, I was going to ask her a question. No, I was going to ask her a question, but no, go ahead.
No, it's seance is actually the age of the hotel. It's prime example. It's perfect timing for when seances became a huge thing. And so you're dealing with people who are probably familiar with it anyway. And maybe they were against it, maybe they were for it. But for me, as a kid, sure, that was fun, sitting around trying to conjure something or whatever. But now that I know what I'm dealing with, I really have a different respect for it. And the people that are usually sitting around a table, they're novices, or they're not dealing with the full knowledge. Maybe they're just curious. And I think that's dangerous, because if I'm calling something in and someone else doesn't close off, like, what are we leaving there? What are they taking home? Seances are not for me. And the fact that you can talk and open up that doorway, that portal with everyone's energy, it's, I think, a dangerous practice. And that's just my opinion. I know there's people out there that do seances for a living. I would not do one. Anything can answer a question when you vocalize it. So you're inviting in trouble, I think, when you do seances.
It got odd here. Like I was, I don't know, like, have you observed or anything with a lot of these? Like, because the one that I was observing that was going on, someone just completely just, I mean, like they were gone. I mean, like it after the end, they were saying there was someone else. And then at the end of it, they were just like, I've seen people do this, but I've never seen anybody have a reaction like, something's just taking them over. And I'm just like, wow.
Was channeling them?
Yeah, it was
I think that's part of the problem. You get somebody isn't there protecting themselves properly, and that kind of thing happens. And then you've also got people that will also fake things like that. So it ruins it. It's like making fun of the energies or testing them. And that's also very discouraging too. So I think you kind of have to deal with that at any time with someone who might be trying to build up a situation. I was once, speaking of which, at a situation like that where we were investigating, and a woman was sitting in a chair, and I was sitting on a bed talking to a little boy at the time with Heather Werman. You guys know Heather. And all of a sudden I get, Rebecca, come here. You have to come here. And I walk in the room, and there's this woman back in this chair. Her eyes are closed. And I go, what's wrong? And they said, well, something's wrong. I'm like, she's fine. I'm like, hello, are you okay? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, she's faking. Can I please go back to the boy? I was so mad. I'm like, why would you let this is bad. That's bad for an investigation. It's bad for your property. So don't let it happen anymore. And so with seances, I think it's important that I'd maybe brief everyone, protective and energies around everyone, have one person discussing, maybe the medium or the person putting it on, have everyone else send everything up telepathically. That way, you're conversing with maybe the right things, but I wouldn't do one. Nope.
Yeah, like Gina said, it's important to trust who you're with, and I've seen that before at Ashmore. People come through, and they've had all kinds of experiences, and I really sometimes kind of doubt some of it. It's hard. I'm skeptical. I believe, but I'm skeptical. And being in the building as much as I am, I've never had, other than one time, it wasn't that bad. It was just a feeling I had. But it's kind of like, some of the stuff, it's like, I think somebody's just trying to get attention a lot of times.
Sometimes that's the case. It is. Or it's innocent and their imagination has run away with them. And so they think what they're hearing or seeing is legit, and it's not. I mean, one of the best places to be is Ashmore. I had one of my most terrifying experiences there. I'm not going to share it right now because it's long, but I love being there. And the first thing I do is run upstairs and yell hello and go see Mary. And I go look for all of the people, and I'm by the doghouse, and I'm just running through the kitchen and, hey, it's Rebecca. And I stop and I talk, and I love being there, especially when you're just opening it, Robin, and there's no one there. I love that because they're still like rubbing their eyes and, oh, it's time to wake up. When you left that night, and it was a weekend, and I was there with my son, Bradley, and the Booth brothers, Christopher and Philip, were coming the next day to film, or that evening to film. And you guys left and went to dinner, and I said, can I do a gallery? So I was doing that live gallery on the second floor when we had that. Oh my God, it was the most hysterical, hilarious thing ever, but it was so amazing. The activity that blew up, that was one of my most favorite as well. It was funnier than heck, and just, I'll never forget. I want to recreate that moment again because it was so amazing. But when that place is empty and you're in there by yourself, it's the best. Even with all the lights on during the day or even at night, it's the best. I do love it.
Like that was the night you thought there was a raccoon or somebody like that attacking you or something, or coming in there.
It was.
I remember right.
Well, I had been talking I was doing the gallery, and I had started talking about our dog had just had puppies. And I said, oh yeah, Bella just had puppies. And I was sitting at the corner in the second floor discussion area facing the piano area, and something hit the wall like 100 miles an hour. Boom. And I went, holy cow. And I looked at Bradley, I go, did you hear that? And then all of a sudden the scurrying and running around in that room. And I was like, something's big is running around in this room. And I'm not going to look because God only knows if it came through like the sewer or the window or a wall or something. I thought it was a giant animal, and I was not. A ghost, I would have got it. I wish I would have been able to catch it on camera, because there was nothing in there. Nada. Nothing, no prints, nothing. And it was awesome. I've never been able to get that either. Again, it was awesome though. It was fabulous. Ashmore Estates. You have good properties. You have good properties.
Yeah. Keep us busy.
Yeah. You need to get back to all of them. Yeah.
I do. This is the year. I'm going to get back to everything. Yeah.
So
speaking of which, I'll be back at the Art Theater in a year.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. We're Rebecca's going to be back there. We're just kind of, you can still get tickets. We've got them available. There's next year, the speaker session during the day is sold out, but on Friday night, we're having a pizza party with all the guests that can make it in. The Kling brothers and Katie Barr is going to be there, and then Rebecca's going to be in town, and we've got Brad Blair, Tim Ellis are coming in, and we're just going to have Mary Marshall's going to be there. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And he has food. There's always food.
Yeah, and we're not going to have it shipped through Greenwood, Indiana this time.
Food is good. If you've got food, I'm there. Food, a lineup smorgasbord. I'm good with that.
Oh yeah. Well, then Saturday night we're going to do the gallery reading with yourself, and then we're going to have it before that. We're going to have a catered dinner. These guys that bring this stuff in are fantastic. We had them up there in December. They fed us in December with the group I had from Ashmore. Actually, Crystal and your mom were there, Mike. So we had that, and then after that, we're going to spend a couple hours with Rebecca. She's going to do a gallery reading there with us.
We're going to have so much fun, because a lot of the people, I mean, there might be people that they've been asking, where do I get the tickets? Or they're messaging me and I'm sending them to the Eventbrite page. But many of the people that are going to be there, I may never have read for, which is, I love that when I have a new audience and new people and those that I've never read for. That's one of the best times, because it's just it's such a clean reading. It's clean, and there is no predetermined, what is the word I'm looking for? It's been a long day. There's no pre-acknowledged information. I can't think of the word. It's not that I'm stupid. It's just that it's been a long day.
Let me ask you, when you're doing readings like that, like next year at this place, and Saturday we have this big event going on throughout the day with all the speakers speaking, things like that, talking about paranormal and everything. Does that possibly bring the energy level up for the night to do in the gallery reading or not?
I think so, because I think the majority of the people that are at your Pure Unity event are already open to everything that's being discussed. And so their energies are just kind of swirling around not only the speakers, but each other and the property and everything that's already at the property, including your doll collection. They're also enjoying everything that's going on. And so I know that when I was there the last time, that it was just enthralling, and it feels alive, almost as if there are things just standing back watching and not really partaking so much. So I was always waiting for somebody to come up and be like, hey, how are you? And it was like they were shy to an extent. So I think that all of that discussion all day long, yes. And everybody's going to be winding down come dinner, come the gallery. So they're going to be a little more open because they're going to be tired, which will lower veils.
At the end of the night, we kind of talked about this a little bit when you were here, because you said you just try to kind of shut off. Like, how hard is that for you?
For instance, like last night, when I have podcasts or I'm doing my own galleries or I'm doing my own podcasts, I try to avoid as much as possible during the day because I really try to conserve my energy. I know that there is an unknown factor to it. I'm not sure what I'm going to be required to expend as far as energy goes. So I kind of hermit up during the day. Now, the event like Para Unity, I'm going to be prepared for that. I'm going to go in knowing that I'm going to be around a bunch of people. I'm going to be in a crowd. I'm going to be listening and swapping energy all day. But there will probably come a time when I hide somewhere and get my bearings, because that's just how I have to do it. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but I do have to kind of recluse for a little while before that.
Even when you were here, like at the end of the night, when everything was finished, you were talking about, how it's kind of tough to just shut everything out and just clear your head for the night. I mean, to get everything to kind of stop.
Yeah. Well, at your place, it's, anywhere like that, Ashmore, your place, it's difficult sometimes because they still want to talk. They don't need sleep. And so that's why I was like thinking, I'm going to wake up and see somebody hovering over me. And it just happens. And so I can tell you that I get to a point, though, where I get exhausted. And that's why I eat all the time, because my blood sugar drops and I know that I've got to eat. And I just want to hide. I just want to get away from everyone's energy so that I can turn it off. But that doesn't mean I don't go to bed and lay there for 2 hours trying to shut the universe off, because that does happen too. Yeah.
So Gina's
during
got a
the day, it's
question for
easy.
you.
I can just walk away. During the night, a little harder, stuck in my head.
Gina had a question there for you. Do you get information from objects like you do people?
Yes. I can get information from people, from animals, from objects, from pictures, locations. I can remote view them. And I see, the thing is I say I can, but I really can't do any of this without God. Like, he is the one who makes all of this possible. Other than that, I'm just Rebecca. So I give whatever he allows me to do. And I put no conscious effort on or limit on it. So then I'm able to do anything, is the way I see it, is whatever he wants me to do, I'm going to be able to do. And so, yeah, objects, people. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I prefer not to know anything about it either. I prefer not to know anything about the query or the question or the object or what you want to know. I prefer to just let things come through. And then it's, again, clean and it is not led in any direction. That's just the way I do business.
She was asking also, are you an introvert?
I am an introverted extrovert.
Well, there's a political answer.
Yes, I know. See, I'm a public speaker. I love public when it comes to speaking and sharing, and but see, that comes to energy conservation. I know if I'm going to be doing something publicly, I know that it's the amount of energy I need for it. Otherwise, I'm a hermit. I'm an introvert. I don't like crowds. I absolutely hate crowds. And when I was in Vegas, that was a prime example. Rob was there, Rob and Heather, and we were at the bar, and everybody from the VIP party that was supposed to happen were in the bar. And we were shoulder to shoulder in Vegas. There's no masks. I'm cool with that. Okay, whatever. Everybody's smoking inside. And I thought, holy cow, I haven't felt smoke in my lungs in so many years, because, that's illegal everywhere else. And all of a sudden I was just hit and bombarded by everybody's information. And I sat down and Rob goes, "Are you okay?" And I said, I'm just not vibing. I just am not reading people here. I'm not doing it. I'm not reading anyone. And I kept saying, like, I was trying to convince the choir, I was preaching. I'm like, I'm not reading anyone. I'm not doing it here. And I just sat there thinking, I just need to get out of this crowd. And so that if that's a long or answer that you were expecting, if you come to my door unannounced, I'm not answering my door. Let's just put it that way, because I know that I have to be like, hi. And I just want to be like, hello, what do you want? I don't have the energy for you. I don't have it. So I am polite, but I'm not, I don't know. Yeah, I'm introverted for sure, but I know when to be extroverted.
There's a place and a time for everything.
Yes, there is. Absolutely, there is.
Now, Let me ask you, you've been involved with some case studies and all with the police department and all. Can you, share any of that or tell me some about some of that you've done?
Yeah, no, I I don't do it all the time. I actually only do it if something repeatedly shows up and appears before me. Otherwise, I ignore them because there's just too many. And one of the cases was actually out of Omaha, Nebraska, and it flashed across the news about a man, a woman that was found dead. Well, I thought it's interesting. I instantly started seeing her and their husky, and I thought, oh, let's go see what's actually going on here. So I can remote view. So I started talking to the dog, and the dog explained what the husband looked like and that the husband had actually done it and how he had done it. And so I then called the police and I said, this is going to sound really crazy, but the husband is the one who murdered this woman, his wife, and the dog is telling me this is how it happened and where. And because of that, they were able to use that evidence to look further to get proof and take what the dog had said and convict him. That was one of the cases, which was really awesome. Another one was up in, I think it was Mason City. I'm really bad with my memory because I don't pay attention. I try not to. I like to stay ignorant to things on a reading level. When I was living in Iowa, Charles City, was it? It was up north. This little girl, Evelyn, she had gone missing and they were looking all over and the parents didn't know anything and la, la, la. Well, she came through and she started talking about where she was and what she could see from where she was. And she started talking about her mother and her stepfather and all of these different details about the vehicle and her barrettes. And I'll never forget it. And so I was able to help with that. And then they found her shortly after. And apparently it was a boat person who was able to locate her because the police never really like to say that a psychic has helped on any cases. And then after I talked to the police again, she went on to talk about the detectives that had been there and what they looked like and what they were personally talking about together when no one else was around. So that was, I think, one of the coolest things for me, let alone to be able to say that. And then they were able to give feedback about that's crazy. That's what we were talking about. And that happens a lot. Like if somebody passes away on an accident, in an accident scene, there was a gentleman, I can share one more here with you if you want me to, because I can talk forever. On I-80 in Illinois, Detective Tom Burek with Illinois State Patrol, he was working on a case. And I think I actually, that's how I met him because I was helping them with the Drew Peterson case. And I was talking to the wives who'd been murdered and they were staying where they were buried, which is absolutely impossible to find the last one, Stacy Peterson. And so this accident happened and I was talking to him about it. And I started saying, she's talking about this girl that had died at the accident. She's talking about this and that and the other thing. So for him to be able to get confirmation that I knew what I was talking about because I wasn't at the scene, it helped even more to try to locate Stacy Peterson. And where she's buried she'll never be found. Never. They'll never be able to get her out. So that was really cool. I actually wrote about that in my book because it was such an extensive case. It was really cool. Good guy too. Good guy. So yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think the cases like that you've been working on and others have worked on like that are just fascinating. I mean, the police, when you call them and say, I had this viewing and all, they have to go like, okay, another one of them.
Absolutely. And I preface it with that. I know you get hundreds of calls from psychics and mediums about where to find the body, but I don't do this all the time. I'm going to give you what I'm hearing and seeing and do with it what you want. And if it makes sense or it clues into anything else, then keep it. You don't need to call me. If you want to call me back, great. If you don't, I don't care. I don't need any credit for any of it. I don't need to know. There was a really cool case though. This woman had come to me a long time ago, and she said, "My daughter is missing. Can you help me?" And I said, "Sure, let's go sit at the restaurant. I'll do a reading on you, see if I can locate your daughter." And her name was Stacy again. And so the daughter comes through and starts giving all these really strange information and names and stuff. And the mom's like, "Oh my God, that's the boyfriend. Holy crikey." Okay. Well, the detective of this police department, I don't know what happened. He thought I had like pumped my gas and ran. So he showed up at my house one day and he goes, "Did you pump your gas and run?" I said, "No, like, why would you think that was me?" "Oh, well, blah, blah, blah." Long story short, we get connected. This is where the case happened. And I said, "This mom came to me and this daughter said, this is where she's at. And the husband or the boyfriend was working construction and she talked about like the most crazy details and that she had been cemented into a blue barrel behind this thing. And the police, this guy, he trusted me enough that they went and found her in cement in the blue barrel on the property." And that was one of my most one of the most amazing cases, because she led me on a goose chase for a while. Like, all these things made sense, but she wouldn't give me like where she was. And then all of a sudden it was, wait a second, she's in cement. Then I found out years later, like maybe this was 20 years ago, a year ago, a friend of mine who I was doing a reading for went, "That boyfriend is married to so-and-so now." I'm like, "Oh my God, what? Why is he not in jail?" So I called that officer up and I said, "You realize this is who this is?" And so I think they may actually, well, he's not an officer, he was chief of police, but at that point, but they were going to be, I should really be careful of what I'm saying, because this is the internet and people are going to be like, "Oh, so she's the one with the big mouth." So I always say, if you're going to kill someone, don't do it in front of your animals because they talk. So, yeah.
You have to I'd like to see some of the officers' face, like what Robin said, when psychics, meetings, like they call and say, "Hey, I got this information," and they're like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And then when they follow up on that somehow, and things match up, then they're just like, "Wait a minute," and they're like, then they want to call you back and start saying, "Hey,
And I'm good with that. I'll help as long as I stay anonymous. I don't want people finding me for that. I only do it if it is brought to my attention. Otherwise I don't. It's just too many. I've worked on quite a few anonymously, but.
Well, I had a situation where we kind of had a run-in with the sheriff's department of Coles County when we bought Ashmore. We were out there cleaning everything up, and he came out one day and he said, "Okay, you need to send somebody out to pick up all the crap you guys been throwing alongside the road." I'm like, "Well, what are you talking about?" He's like, "You've been throwing a bunch of junk out along the road. You need to get out there and clean it up, or I'm going to take you to jail." I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And he told me where it was. I'm like, "Look," I said, "if it's not on Route 16, I have no idea where anything is." I said, "I just bought this place a couple weeks ago. I've never been any place but Route 16 to get here." And so he's going on, and he said, "Can I take a walk through the building there and take a look at some stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we walk through the building, and he picks up some stuff, and he's like, "See, this matches pretty much the same thing that what we found alongside the road." And so we're walking through, and I said, "Can I?" He's getting ready to leave. He's still yelling at me about this whole stuff that I need to get out. I'm like, "We didn't do it. I wouldn't do that." And so I said, "Can I borrow that thing a second?" And he had a piece of what they picked up along the road, and I gave it to a friend of mine who's a medium, and I said, "Do you have any idea where this came from?" And she's holding it and talking to him and everything, and she's like, "It didn't come from here." And he's kind of rolling his eyes, and he said, "This came from." She's like, "This came from a place that's northwest of here." It's like it's a place that looks like a demo work that they're doing in the place or something, but this is where it's from. And so we walk outside, and I walk out to the deputy. He's like, "You need to get the stuff picked up." I'm like, "I'm not doing it. It's not my stuff. I have no idea." And so there's a lady out there, and she's like, "You know what?" She's like, "I don't think it came from here. I think it came from," and she said the name of the place. And I said, "Where's that?" He's like, he looks at me, and he kind of has his head down. He's like, "Well, it's northwest of here." I'm like, oh, just like she told you inside, huh? He said, yeah.
That's
So
hysterical.
yeah, so he went up there, and I hadn't seen him for about a year, and he's actually now the sheriff, and I saw him at an event, and I had the mystery machine. He comes over, he's like, "Can I have my picture taken with the mystery machine?" I'm like, "Yeah, as long as you're not going to shoot me." And he's like, "What?" I said, "Well, the last time you wanted to take me to jail." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I told him about it. He's like, "Oh." He's like, "Yeah, actually, she was right. That stuff did come from that place, and we had them go out and pick it all up." I'm like, "Yeah, you didn't come back out and tell me about that, though, did you?" He's like, "No." He
No,
said, "But we got it taken care of."
hysterical. That's is it same time frame, like built around the same time
Oh yeah,
frame or something?
yeah, yeah. It was,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it had like horsehair in the plaster and everything, just like we did at Ashmore. And
Wow.
so yeah, that's what. And it's funny, he used to work at Ashmore during the haunted house, and so he said that's why he looked at it. He's like, "This came. I know where this is from."
Oh,
When the deputies all found this stuff alongside the road, but it looked identical to the same thing. But yeah, it came from the same type of building, same type of that structure around 1916 and stuff like that, 1920s. So, but
crazy.
yeah, but fortunately we got cleared of it. So yeah, it wasn't us. I told him, hell, I wouldn't even know where to go. I told him, I said, for $1 million, I could not find what you're talking about right now.
Wow. That's
But
awesome.
yeah, he didn't listen to the medium, but she was right. When she told him where to find it.
That's fabulous for her, at least validation right then and there as to what she was talking about was legit. That's sometimes so nice to get that, which is cool.
So, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
So when you've been doing some gallery readings and everything, what's some of the strangest things that have happened during a gallery reading or something when you've been reading stuff like that?
Well, with the virtual gallery that I did at Ashmore was one of the top best, even with no one there. Having Elva with puppies and everything else running around next to us was amazeballs. Um, one of the scariest galleries I ever did was with this woman. She invited me to her house. We went into the living room. The ladies, there was a fireplace in front of me, and then the ladies did a horseshoe around me, and I was reading everyone. And I get to the lady of the house, and I'd never met these people before. I would just do things through referral. And all of a sudden, I'm reading her, and this guy, he looked seriously, I mean, he was one of the scariest things I've ever seen. The floor opened up and was shooting flames, and he came flying out like something was holding on to his legs, and he was grabbing at me and snarling and just the nastiest. And I said, there's a dude that's like coming absolutely right out of hell right now, out of your floor. And the women kind of got up and moved a little bit, and I was like, he's right here. He's talking about your mom. He's going on. And she goes, my stepfather, it's my stepfather. She said he killed my mom. And I said, well, y'all need to clear out of here because I need to get rid of him right now. And seriously, it just went poof, and the floor just this opened, and I can still see beyond him the depth of that red. And from that, I knew, I'm like, there is an absolute place of justice for people. There is an absolute help. What was that? Did you just hear
No.
that?
Yeah.
You,
I heard
you
some
heard
It
her
thumping
go,
was.
happen.
you heard her go, ooh. Did you
I
hear
don't know
that?
what it was. I could
I
hear
was,
it.
I was talking. It wasn't me. That was so cool. That wasn't here, was it?
I don't know. I don't know where
No,
it came from. I heard it.
let's go back. It's about 49 minutes in, a little before that, even about 48:50 in. So we'll have to tag it and check it out.
Yeah.
Wow. You heard it
Yeah,
too,
Gina said
Gina.
Okay.
one
Yeah.
of the people listening said they heard it.
That's really cool.
Hmm.
It was really whoo, like that as I was
Yeah.
finishing talking. So obviously I was again talking over someone. That's just the way I roll. Just the way I roll. But that was my most terrifying gallery moment. I think I have when galleries are there can be emotional and they can be scary, they can be sad, happy. I try to make them as lighthearted as possible because they can be emotional when people come through or something is told to someone that they're dealing with. And so I like to have as many laughs as possible. So it does take a lot of energy. because I try to stand up there and have not only the doctor side of everything being serious and the medium aspect, but also the comedic part of it, because I think you have to have that balance going so that I think people are united in laughter and happiness and smiling. So to be able to put a gallery in where someone else might be thinking, and then you can laugh, I think that's a big deal. So I don't know why I'm telling you that, but I'm just telling you that.
It makes sense.
Waiting for someone else to talk. That was creepy. I don't know which one of us that.
No, I'm like,
I don't know.
That was great.
Yeah.
And there's nobody here with me. So
yeah, I'm the only one here too. So
well, there's nobody downstairs here in the basement. I mean, where my office is at anyway. The doors are all shut here and everything. So no idea.
Yes,
I can see,
but there's
see outside the walls, but the doors, but there's nobody out there walking up down the sidewalk.
But in like 2 rooms away from you, you have all those creepy dolls that come alive at night, and she's like, "I love you. I want to sleep with you tonight." And she's like,
yeah, I don't have any of them. I'm looking around. I don't think I've got any of them in here right now, but
she's terrifying.
no, I don't see any laying around here.
I have the clown in the next room.
The only doll, and my kid would sit there and say, "That's not a doll, it's a bobblehead." I've got sitting on my desk is Ray from Menards.
That's all good. I can handle that. Yeah.
You mean like Baby Secret?
Yeah, no, she's terrifying. She's so scary. That voice, it's just Exorcist, Regan, terrifying. And like the voice box is gone on her, and you'll have to bring her on your show sometime, Robin. I'm sure she would highly enjoy that.
I'll bring her on there and let you see her so she can talk to you tonight.
Not me.
If he disappears in a minute, you know where he went.
Yeah, it's like, oh, be right back.
Oh,
just come back and just like get it right into the frame, like all of a sudden.
You guys, the watchers, the people who are viewing, I'm serious. It would probably give them. It's one of the dolls you have. Like, oh, Christopher and Philip should use her in a horror movie. She's so terrifying.
I must not have seen this one.
That's Baby Secret. Yeah, Baby Secret from Mattel in 1964, I think it is.
Searcher, there's other people who have those too, because after that, I went to try to explain how terrifying this doll was. And there is another individual who recorded her talking too. So it must be just something that ages in those voice coils. You know, they just kind of go out.
That's where she is. She whispers.
That's what yes, I love you so much. I'll sleep with you.
I've got 2 of them. They talk identically the same. No, that's just the way they are.
They're terrifying.
Talking,
never.
Talking Baby Secret. So,
yep, that would creep me out.
Never.
So a couple of people asking, it's kind of the same type of thing. Do you ever get anything random while you're watching TV or pick up on aliens and stuff like that while you're doing readings?
You know what? I actually try not to cross that bridge, because the telepathic aspect of what I do ties in so greatly with alien aspect. And I have had so many, I've had countless, put it that way, experiences with, he went to get the damn doll. He did. He just went to go get it.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I was sitting there thinking, I know what he did. He's doing.
Yes. But no, I have had my own personal experiences with aliens, and I've seen them, and I've done, I've had conversations with them. They've shown me different planetary aspects. And so when I'm outside and it's beautiful and it's, I'm sending them messages, because I know that they're also downloading things to me as well. So I love that part. I mean, Sasquatch, fairies, trolls, gnomes, they all exist. And I've seen all of those with my own eyes as well. So it's just a wonderful gift, I guess, that I've been given to be able to visually see these things. So as far as, there was another question somebody had asked about anything strange coming through or anything odd. What was the question? Do you remember what the question was, Mike?
So there was random stuff like on the news, stuff like that.
Okay. Like random stuff like watching Oak Island or the news. Yes, actually, Oak Island, Maddie Blake, he's on that show, and he's an acquaintance of mine. And I did a bit of a reading for him at one point. I thought that doll was going to show up like right there.
I was waiting on it to show up like right.
So did I. That's why I looked away. I was like, oh no! Oh my
I was
God.
waiting on the screen to pop up with her like in it, like yeah.
I hate that doll. That's what I was going to tell you too. But yeah, he's going to play. Oh my gosh.
They're
They're
twins.
terrifying. And they talk terrifying. But no, so yeah, I did pick up a few things with Oak Island. I shared them with Maddie, and whatever he chose to do with it, it's his, whatever he wants to do with it. So I did that. But I will tell you this. I love scary movies. I love them. But when you get into things like The Exorcist or anything that deals in demonic entities, I have a hard time watching it. I really have to protect myself because strange things will absolutely start happening immediately. I actually turned on yesterday. I was doing some stuff and I turned on Demon House by Zach Bagans, and I don't watch a lot of their stuff. I just don't. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. So I started watching it. I think I went about 20 minutes in and I heard nope. And I had to shut it off because whatever was going on in the production of that, I was not. When I'm watching something or I'm reading people like you guys right now, I'm blocking that. But if I'm involved in something, I will start reaching out. My energy will wrap around it and I will start reading that. And I didn't want that to happen with this house or what was left remnant in the footage. I mean, that sounds crazy, but it happens all too often. And then all of a sudden crazy stuff starts happening in my house and there's weird people walking around that I've never seen. So that can absolutely happen with scary stuff. I try to avoid it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get one of these things to say something. There's a sound where they might be able to hear.
Yeah. It's creepy.
I kind of like the way her lips move too.
Yes.
Be louder. I know a secret. Do you?
Yeah, that one's.
Dude.
I'm having nightmares tonight.
I'm going to have nightmares. If I hear
Yeah.
whispering, wake me up tonight, I'm haunting your dreams tonight, Robin. I'm haunting your dreams. You know, I left Ashmore Estates the first time I ever was there. I left, got home. I was sitting at my dining room doing a gallery and I went back. I don't know what made me go back. And I started listening again. And all of a sudden I heard, oh, it's Robin. And I thought, wait, what? Who are we talking to? It was in the middle of the gallery. Somebody was talking about you, Robin. And I had just left. I had just gotten home from Ashmore doing the gallery. So
I think I kind of popped in on that. If I remember right, I was on one of those that you had.
It's very
had a
possible.
little boy that popped in there, something like that too. So
yes,
yep.
Albert from your place followed us home. Yes, yeah, he was there for quite a while. I had to kick him out, and I've never seen him back at Ashmore again. I mean, I told him, you either have to go back to Ashmore right now, or you need to go to heaven because you can't ride in the car with me because these mechanics think I'm nuts. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I know all about mechanics thinking you're nuts. I had a autopsy kit that had some attachments to it that caused some problems. So, yep. Yeah.
They can do work on it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy what they can affect.
Yeah, he wouldn't work on my hearse, but he worked on the HHR when I had problems. But he didn't realize that the HHR had an attachment to it. The hearse never had any problems, but the HHR had some issues.
Yeah, you would think it'd be the other way around. You would think
one would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's creepy. I love cemeteries and stuff like that. I really just wanted to get a job at like a funeral home just so I could just go in and talk to dead people all the time. And people like, you really can't, you have to have a job. you have to work. Like you have to do something while you're there. It's like,
Brian says, no, you have to have a gainful employment, huh?
Yes, exactly. That's hysterical. Yeah. So
we're kind of running out of time. So where can people find you and what you got going on and everything, and where to look stuff up?
Yeah. So if you go to, there you go. It's across the bottom. If you go to godstool.com, that's pretty much where people can go to find everything that I'm doing. And there's a public events page, which lists all the different galleries and stuff that I do as well as things like going to the art theater in 2023. I put that on there as well. So all the different locations that I'll be at and what I'm doing. I do a lot of free galleries on Facebook and YouTube, on TikTok. I just try to do as many free things as God gives me the energy to do it. And I do private readings as well. Those are a lot less as far in terms of reading schedule, but the free stuff is fun and you don't have to pay for it. And I'm on for about an hour or two when I'm doing them. So if you go to my God's Tool page, you will find me and locate me. Yeah.
Yep.
And all the fun things.
Yeah. And I mean, I know it's a year away, but in fact, it's not even, it's a little over a year away. It's a year and 4 days away, but Rebecca's going to be here at the theater. And, you've never investigated here at the theater really. So we'll have to do a little bit of that next year when you come in on Friday or Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I really did was I walked around your house and I picked up the guy in that storage area, like the overhang of the front of the building. And it was closed off and it was dark. And I saw that guy in there and I wasn't going in there by myself. I'm seriously a chicken. You think I wouldn't be, but I am.
So I can understand that, but and that's how it works. But yeah, make sure you say hi to the kids and Brian. And
I will.
Hopefully his new job's going well for him.
It is. It's going well. He's very happy. He's got a lot of places I've been trying to bug him to get me into, but they're off limits. So who knows? I'm pretty good chipper. Chip, chip, chip. So.
Mike, you better get your question in. You're going to forget it.
What is it?
I know. Yeah, we're running out of time. Yeah. So if you could go to any location in the world and investigate, where would you go?
Oh, you guys.
No,
it would have
me.
It would I would have to say one of two places. It's like East State Penitentiary or Waverly, because I've never been to either of those. Yeah, I'd love to. I mean, they're just reportedly so haunted. And the fact that we're dealing with incarcerated individuals and people who are suffering from mental health issues, those are the best places because they're still in that human state of mind and you're getting the truth out of them as to who they were in life. And it's terrifying and you will never catch me sleeping there, but I would love to go. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for asking. And thanks for having me on.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for being on.
I love it.
Great.
I miss you guys. And so,
same here.
I'm going to have to make my way there with the spring coming. I'm going to have to go to Ashmore and make my way across to Atlanta and Anna and drive my butt home.
Yeah, you're in the Cornhusker area now, in Iowa and everything, aren't you?
Yes, I'm in Iowa. I am south of 80 now. I'm south of 80. They say I'm a redneck, and that's okay. I'm good with that. Wait, Mike, you guys are both south of 80 too, so I'm happy with that. We're in good company.
Dude, there you go.
I'm real south of 80. I'm even in the state the south of 80, so yeah.
It's all good. Excellent.
So, well, thanks for joining us. And,
thanks.
Appreciate it coming in, and it'll be. I'm looking forward to next year, but then got a lot of stuff going on this year.
Oh, so much going on. Lots of going on. Lots of blessings. Can't be any more grateful than I am. So you guys both stay healthy. Stay healthy.
You too.
And definitely. And I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Night. So she's always great to have on.
Yeah, that was fun.
And,
that was fun.
If you've never gone to a gallery reading or been at an event where she's at, just do it. She's kind of like she's sitting in the out there. She's kind of like hiding on the side, but that's okay. She's kind of her. Can you imagine putting her and Chad in a building together by themselves?
Oh man,
it'd be like. Those two be like running down the hallways and wearing the spirits in the building be like, oh my God, make them stop. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it'd be kind of a crazy evening, I think, for sure. So,
definitely would.
Rebecca sent me a note, said she's already suggested that to him. So, I could see those two having a lot of fun. It'd be a good time for them. So, well, and I'm gonna get out of here. And
Yeah.
but let's see what we got doing here next week. We've got Doogie coming in from Tennessee Ray Chasers, so that'll be good.
Yep. Yeah.
He's a good guy, and I always kind of enjoy talking to him. And let us just see what happens next week when he's on here. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So make sure you guys tune in.
And yeah, we're looking forward to it. So, but yep, if you need to, if you're still looking at booking investigations and everything for next year, make sure you get a hold of Crystal, get a hold of that demon in Greenwood, Indiana, and
The donut
tell her you want
demon.
tell her you want the donut special. I don't know what that is, but just get a hold of her and tell her you got to have that, or let me know if you haven't booked yet for Ashmore. We'd be glad to have you on there, and to get you there as well. So, but and check out our YouTube channel on YouTube at LLF Radio. We've got all the the episodes are on there. We put them out there so you can see them out there as well. So they're all out there. Just pop in there and just have a night of it sometime.
Yeah, go subscribe to the page, please.
Yep, jump on there and do that. So, okay, well, I'm gonna get out of here, and it's been a long day anyway. So I'm gonna hit it, and we will catch up with you either next week or before.
Yep, sounds good, and we'll see you guys next week. Tune in.
Sounds good. All right, night, everybody.
Night. My name is Mike, and I'm the founder of the Lost Limbs Foundation. The Lost Limbs Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that provides assistance to amputee children in need of prosthetics. I started the charity after my own struggles after my leg being amputated just above the knee. Prosthetics cost thousands of dollars, and the average lifespan is 5 to 7 years on a prosthetic. Kids are constantly growing, so they'll go through multiple prosthetics throughout their life. This is the prosthetic leg that I use, and the cost was about $70,000. The Rhodes Hotel is in Atlanta, Indiana, and is owned and operated by the Lost Limbs Foundation. We are currently doing photo shoots, ghost hunts, and special events to help raise money for the charity. For more information, you can go to lostlimbsfoundation.org. With your help, we can help these kids one step at a time.